People who have never been faced with migration don't necessarily understand the impact of migration and why people have to migrate. The project we're working on is just so relevant to what's going on today.
Maya Productions shines a light on stories, people and ideas that we don't often hear about in mainstream theatre.
Realise that everybody's come there to watch you, listen to you and enjoy it with you, and you're also enjoying it together.
My productions take on stories which address increased diversity and stories which are not told to make a positive change to the society and to our industry.
We make diverse theatre to create change. We look to bring together organisations and individuals who want to make theatre and art that really enables social change and in particular racial justice in the arts. At the moment we are running 2 Talking About My Generation projects. Those projects are engaging with the themes of migration, cultural identity.
These stories of migration travel across all people that have come to this country for one reason or another. It's important that people in Britain know these stories and enjoy the diversity that they have around them, you know, because it's really rather special.
These are community projects to enable adults from South Asian heritage to develop their own creativity, to share their stories, first of all in a group together, but then with a wider audience.
We're in the Stanley Hall, South Norwood in London. I'm an Anglo-Indian. Talking About My Generation is about the groups that migrated into this country. Their interesting journey across waters.
The project is about our entry into the UK, why we came and how we are doing now.
We're going through 3 elements of the story, so their life in India, the journey over to the UK and their first experience once they landed in the UK. And they tell stories and they sing and they do poetry. It's going to be really special, I think.
My memories were just a child's memories of sights, sounds and smells. Like this, the clatter of cooling monsoon rain on the veranda. We reminisced first of all about us being in India before we left, the reasons why. So it was reminiscing, it was anecdotes, it was telling stories. Some of us wrote poems.
As steamships sailed into sunsets, taking our loved ones far away, wrenching families right apart on the shores of Bombay.
For many families it was no turning back, because once the fares were paid there was no money left to go back and forth as we do now.
We had left the safety of our home and handbag in India. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law were there and my dog. And it broke my heart to see the dog running along the compartment as the train pulled out. That was really so sad. We don't come across so many people who actually went through the same experiences that we had. It's nice to hear what they think. It's interesting to see how we all managed our lives.
I came over in 1962 at the age of 16. There were 6 of us all working in the same factory. We see a lot of Anglo-Indians, but nobody ever brings up the subject about where they came from or whatever. They just day-to-day stuff they talk about. They don't talk about back then. So we have a lot in common. Just sit and reminisce our younger days back in India. Brilliant. It's been interesting to listen to all the others as well. That has helped, listen to their stories.
I just want to jump now to Act 3.
We have had a laugh. It has been very funny. They like to be here and they like seeing each other. It's hard to get them to leave the room at the end because they're so busy chatting. They've really committed to this project. It's really nice.
We're going to try the song, Hear Our Voice. And it's all yours, Vivian!
Hear our voice when we sing. Hear us Anglo-Indians. Hear our voice, let it ring. Who we are and where we've been.
It's actually completed a journey, because when we first started, we all had individual stories, but in talking about it, there were so many similarities in our stories. When we migrated, we had to leave India. We all had lives there, and we came to England because we already had family here. Those are natural human reasons for going and coming to where we ended up and where we've then built our lives. It has actually taken us back to reassess, the reasons why we left, and maybe we've forgotten that. So I've enjoyed the project because it's been a collective remembering. So, here we are, and that's our migration journey.
There's a lot more to Anglo-Indian life, and the more people who talk about it, the more there will be an understanding of the Anglo-Indian community.
We've got a second group who are working up in Bradford. That's a South Asian women's project. They are also exploring ideas around movement, culture, identity and migration.
What I enjoy about the session is listening to everybody's stories, because we're all connected. It's nice that the ladies feel comfortable talking about their stories.
We've been having very touching conversations about their journeys and their stories and how they felt leaving their homeland and their families to come and start a new life.
हमारी जो जिंदगी है ना, वैसे जवानी में वेरी हार्ड गुजरी है। इधर मैं 96 में आई हूँ और मैं 79 की हूँ। अब तो मेरी जिंदगी गुजर गई है। मुझे अच्छा लगा ये प्रोजेक्ट आपने किया ना, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
The aims of this project was just to get the ladies to talk about their stories, relay that through artwork and through poetry as well.
The ladies have created beautiful poetry, poems based on migration and their journeys in their life.
These ladies have never done creative writing before. A lot of them lack basic writing skills. So for them to be able to explore creative writing and do things such as poetry, it's huge. To show them that they've got that talent within them that they wouldn't necessarily have seen had they not done the workshop.
Thank you. I'm going to read it in English, and some of the ladies are then going to translate it into Urdu. Home is the childhood memories, where families live. Memories remain sweet and warm, like the rainbow after the storm.
It was quite difficult at times to get them to read and write, but when we started doing face-to-face things, talking about things, they felt more comfortable, they felt relaxed.
When I took out the needlepoint, the thread and the fabrics and things, the women were overjoyed. It brought back a sense of nostalgia for them. Once that was triggered in their mind, it unlocked a memory. It overflowed with conversations. It's just so much fun.
You know, when they talk about bringing back memory, looking forward to coming to a place like this. I like doing drama here.
सबको देखती रहती हूँ, ठीक है, enjoy करते हैं.
For this particular project, it's about also connecting generations. That's why we wanted talking about My Generation, which works with adults, but also a young person's Roots to Roots project, so that actually we can start to connect those generations. At the moment, we are working with a school up in Sheffield on our Roots to Roots project. The young people are exploring ideas around their own cultural identity and heritage, but they're also looking at ideas about the future and what that means to them.
Roots to Roots is an activity where you get to explore your cultural heritage and socialise with other people that come from other backgrounds and see how their experiences have affected them.
I love Roots to Roots because it's such an ideal and unique experience. It's not just, oh, I'm Yemeni, I have a Yemeni culture. I'm not just Yemeni, I'm also me. I have my own interests, I have my own skills. Let you look at yourself and others from a different perspective that you wouldn't usually get to see.
The different arts that we expose them to allowed the girls an opportunity to look at ways of expressing themselves.
We've been focusing on culture and identity. We've been writing motivational things to ourselves about the future. We've been making a dance based on our cultural music.
Their identity really showed when we started creating a performance piece.
So that first scene is all about you. This is me.
Just asked them to do an action just about how they felt that day.
This is me. Okay? So that's what you're doing in that first scene.
Their actions were just really, really beautiful. And what we've done is just arranged it into a piece of choreography. By doing these activities as a group, it's made them realise that actually there's other people that are going through the same thing, so they feel that they were able to open up more. They don't feel alone now.
I'm from India, a country where we have many cultures and traditions. I'm from a home full of love, kindness and laughter. You can be who you are here. You can express yourself. You don't need to be afraid.
I've never heard of anything like this. It's just such a great opportunity to get to share who you are with other people, not just your culture, but you yourself. Such a unique opportunity.
It's about enabling people to be creative in their everyday life. It's also about supporting them to develop creative skills.
Many people felt shy to turn up, and I felt the same, obviously.
So, Bill, over to you.
Where did you all learn to speak such good English?
Oh, no!
My arm was twisted and I came up today.
I was reluctant to join because I'm really quite a senior person. And I thought I wouldn't be able to bring anything to the table. But my friends were coming and they said, well, let's go and hear what's happening. And we did, and we really enjoyed the first few sessions. So we've seen it through to the end.
I like to meet people. I like to go out, looking forward to coming.
And it's also to be a partnership where people who work in the communities and theatre give different people of different backgrounds that platform to have a voice and to learn about each other's cultures, art forms and traditions.
It's important to speak about people's cultural identity and their stories about migration. By providing a platform like this and workshops like this for ladies to have the opportunity to talk about these things and to have other women to connect to and to relate with is amazing.
My productions are taking part in the Migration Festival. Going to Sheffield tomorrow. We just love adventures.
Another thing that's really exciting about this project is actually all the groups that we've been working with. Bradford Group, the Croydon Group and the Sheffield Group are coming together in Sheffield at Migration Matters Festival.
Welcome from London, Bradford and Handsworth.
Today is an opportunity for you to meet each other because you've all been looking at themes of migration, cultural identity and heritage and looking at the future.
They'll be sharing what they've been doing and sharing their performance and their artwork with each other. And, connecting with people in different cities. Roots to Roots and Talking About My Generation, they're both projects that are linked to Benny and the Grey Cats, which is a new musical that we are developing at Maya Productions.
Inspired by the play that I'm writing about my family's kind of, journey from India to England.
Benny and the Grey Cats, the story inspired by Susan Gorman's grandfather who came to Sheffield to settle from India. Out of that, a musical was developed about the migration story, about Anglo-Indians.
The piece Benny and the Grey Cats, very much a story about people migrating from India to England, but at the end of that piece, it is their future that they are facing. And so it's really great to be able to connect something that actually is a 1960s story with young people here in 2022 who are looking to their own future.
I think projects like this, if it does get out into the wider audience, really could help throw some light on the reasons why people migrate. And with a little bit of understanding and tolerance, everyone was happy and willing and eager to work and to fit in and build a positive life.
It's very easy to just always know about your own history, and there's so many other ways that we can connect with individuals by knowing about their roots and their migration and their journeys as well.
The UK is meant to be that multicultural space. If people don't express themselves, there's a danger that some cultures or some voices become more dominant and speak for the people that become silenced.
Try to keep the Anglo-Indian traditions going, but the new generation are more integrated into UK life and they have very little desire to continue our traditions.
The underlying driving point for everybody in the room is that they feel that they are the last of the Anglo-Indians that came over from India. If they don't share their stories now, they'll be forgotten forever.
Give them a platform to share their own personal stories, stories which we've now discovered are very important for them to say.
It's very enlightening just to hear other people's experiences. Us talking about the Anglo-Indians, what we were, what we are now, is educational. I think so, at least.
It's really good to speak about the migration story because it inspires other ladies through this Maya project. Women have been able to express their own stories.
It's been a very enjoyable project. It's helped us. I would like to think that it actually would help others as well who perhaps don't understand the reasons for migration so well.
It'll leave a mark in history as to the immigration that happened and gives an insight into what our lives were like then, what we had to endure and how we progressed from there.
This is like a family. We all just support each other.
Before, look after the kids and they all grown up. Then told me to, what life you left, go out, enjoy yourself. That's why I keep coming.
I'm happy I came. I'm happy that the Anglo-Indians are getting a platform.
An opportunity to get to share who you are with other people, not just your culture, but like you yourself. And honestly, I don't think I've ever felt so comfortable in my own skin.
It's been revealing, enlightening, and it's probably put another piece in the jigsaw that perhaps was missing.
It's a touch of India, just listening to them.